And as APAC operators embrace Open RAN to drive network flexibility and innovation, AI and cloud-native technologies are emerging as key enablers of this transformation. This panel will explore how AI supports the deployment, optimization, and management of Open RAN across diverse markets, while cloud-native architectures provide the scalability and agility needed for dynamic network demands. Joining us are Yoshihiro Nakajima. He is Director of Network Virtualization Platform, that at NTT Docomo. And next to him is Atila Horvat. He's Head of Portfolio Strategy, that at Rakuten Symphony. And gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Of course, we're here at FeatureNet Asia 2025, day one. I want to get right into it, Yoshi, with you, if you don't mind, and certainly Atila, jump in if you'd like. Just to set the stage for the conversation, how is AI really driving this deployment, optimization, and management of Open RAN? Again, setting the stage.
Yes, I'm Yoshihiro Nakajima. I'm in charge of the entire cloud system for the core network and the radio. And we are working on the cloud virtualization, especially for the radio base station for the 2022. And I think the AI is a key enabler to automate everything because, the disaggregation journey with the Open RAN has a lot of challenges in the integration, design, or performance optimization. And I think using the AI, so we can optimize the parameters and conduct automation design for the network deployment. And that sometimes very beneficial for the massive deployment in the world.
Atila, we're talking about scalable, flexible Open RAN solutions. How do cloud-native architectures lend a hand to that?
Well, as Rakuten Symphony and Rakuten Mobile being pioneers in fully virtualized, cloud-native open network, right, nationwide, successful story, I would say that we are actually the examples. We deployed something that works. It's very leaner, right, with minimum manual intervention, high automation. And I would say enabler of this success is Open RAN, cloud native, and now AI. AI for us is next stage. So it's not that we are starting with AI. We have already deployed, we already automated our cloud native, full virtualized network, Open RAN based. Now we are going to fine tune that by adding AI and extending AI into legacy integrations, because that's the key. How do you manage the complexity when you have multiple different RAN technologies and deployment models in the same network? Now, Greenfield is it's a much simpler storyline than a Brownfield, right? So I think the Brownfield is the next battleground for Open RAN and successful story of ORAN.
Yeah. Yoshi, anything to add? Certainly far more brownfield or network architectures that exist today than greenfield.
Yes, that's true. The brownfield, it's very difficult to introduce a new technology to our production network, especially for the virtualization. Need a much changes in the processes and the deployment, and lots of work should be software basis. So that means the network operator need to address the network engineer to software engineer. So that is a big mind change. And also, we need to massive scale cloud infrastructure for the radio. That it's a lot of challenges for the maintain the very stable and robust infrastructure for the application sites, especially for the time critical and real-time sensitive application of the base stations.
Well, you mentioned challenges. Let's talk about that a little bit more, these multi-vendor Open RAN ecosystems. Can you, again, for the audience, maybe just like 2 or 3 of the top line challenges there?
Yeah, of course, the integration is a much challenges. Like, of course, it's a kind of a disaggregation from the base station from the box with multiple entity like CU, DU, RU, and lots of internet network connectivity among the high throughput, high robust availability system for the system. But, in the past, the vendor addressed how to reliable system make much stable communication to our customers. So that portion and some discussion or technical investigation should be offloaded to the operator side. So that is a great challenges. And of course, our NTT Docomo has a knowledge and expertise to conduct such development for the productions. And of course, we are very welcome to share our knowledge and expertise to the Asia Pacific areas.
Attila, certainly Rakuten Symphony is addressing a lot of these challenges that Yoshi just referenced.
Definitely.
Can you maybe walk us through that a little bit?
Sure. So globally, as we know, there is a challenge of 5G standalone, return on investment, questions about innovative services not being kicked off, like network slicing, maybe a bit late compared to our expectations. And I think this is all correlated, because if you go into a cloud-native world and Open RAN, not only Open RAN, but having a disaggregated network from core to RAN, even transport, right? You can do microservice-based end-to-end solutions. That gives you power to make your services SLA-based, right? You can scale it. You can pinpoint your part of a network, segregate your network with slicing, and then offer that to your external customers. Now, if you go back and you don't have a cloud-native Open RAN network, that becomes a challenging task. It's not impossible, but challenging and more expensive. Cost effect is also very important here, right? Soon as you can actually dimension part of your network for a specific service and assure that part of your network for that service, you are cost effective, right? You optimize your cost, your operations, and your services becomes more affordable in time. So this is what cloud native and AI future and Open RAN brings. Cost effective, optimized network segments for specific business cases.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yoshi, any thing to add as far as the future innovations for this AI, cloud, and Open RAN integration?
I think the multi-vendor is a much challenges in the integration. And of course, we need a kind of interfaces or data model for the multi-vendor configurations. And so that is the great success of the standardization work in the several SDOs like 3GPP, ORAN, and HNFP. So we are conducting a kind of standardization work for the multiple vendor integration with a very easy task to the productions.
Let me add here something. I mean, I agree that standardization is, and it was always traditional, the way forward, right, to achieve multi-vendor support and a bigger ecosystem. But as we saw in the past, it didn't always succeed, first of all. And second of all, we are now seeing disruptors coming from a native Kubernetes layer, right, startups, that they don't care about SDOs and specifications. And they are doing almost the same as standard-based solutions, right, in their own way. And now that's the challenge. As an operator, whether you will track these startups and start taking their influence, right, into your solutions, or you continue with SDOs, or you find some kind of a balance between them. So we are living in that age, and that's something new, right? I mean, we always had startups, but they were not disruptive in a way that their offers and use cases, business cases make sense to operators. Now we are living, right? For example, you have a lot of disruptors in an area of RIC apps, right? Third-party apps. They're introducing new values into the ecosystem. There are also some automation platforms, right, on a Kubernetes level that are following some other open source, right, solutions compared to SDOs, right? I mean, deviations from HCNFV or complement of HCNFV, declarative workflow based. All these are extremely attractive, right? Or CD based, right? The orchestrations with pros and cons. And it's not easy for operators to choose the path. And sometimes even investing in these startups, right? Or ignoring them. So I think that's the next level of challenge, especially in this AI agentic world, right? Where you add on top AI agents, right? And platforms. And it's easy to bring a storyline about the value-added proposition. But whether that really happens, it's the jury's out.
The jury's out. That's interesting. I mean, we've been talking about whether Open RAN was going to gain traction or not. Are there real-world use cases? Are they really effective? Is it bringing down costs, or what's
Right.
the end game? But now we're talking, and there's another layer now, of course. Yeah. So the jury's out.
Yeah.
That should be a new title of our.
Exactly, the jury's out. I mean, we waited, our industry waited a bit too long, right, with Open RAN embracing, right?
We've moved on.
We moved on now, and I mean, the world globally moved on.
Yeah.
There are AIs, right, AI agents, LLM-based, right, RAG and whatnot, right? And that disrupts now further, right, and makes the situation more foggy.
Sure.
Right? So in the shoes of operators, like in our case, Rakuten Mobile Key Account, right, and 101 Germany, they face these challenges. How do they see it to the fog now? Right? Do they start with disruptors and put them in a lab and see the value propositions going their way, right? And then slowly they merge their solutions into SDO specifications. But that's a long process, right? And it means that you are stuck with startups for a long time. Right? But startup is not a stable environment, right? So what do? You invest in them. So that's a vicious circle, right? That you need to decide to take or just ignore.
From NTT Docomo's perspective, what are your thoughts on this?
I think the lots of challenges and recent technologies are good to have, and especially for the automation aspect, we need to add the new features or the fully automated system to enable the autonomous network system due to the massive scale of the base stations. And also, our customer need much robust and high quality communication using the terminal. And I think in such cases, we need to continue our development and deployment for the next decade. And that means we need a kind of a standardization or common data model to push the massive scale deployment. So because the recent technology is good, but we need to care about the changes and some the evolutionary approaches of the software basis. So that means sometimes we need to take over the another solutions or technologies. But our mission is to keep our network system very stable.
Yeah.
So that is we need to see a balance, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and for example, Rakuten Symphony can be the voice of reason in this fog, right, that we right now have. Because not only Rakuten Symphony, but in general, vendors should take the role of consultancy in this time, not only selling right things. We need to consult operators. Yeah. We need to bring the experience and the challenges that we see globally. So it's a bit a different game now. Right? I mean, in the past, that was also being done, right? But not in a scale as today. Because who is better equipment than vendors, right? To see through that fog and understand what the startup is doing is not a long-term solution, right? It solves the short-term problem. Yeah. But on somewhere down the road introduces issues, right? Startups will not care, right? They will solve the problem and look for investment, right? Because they solve the problem, sure. Right? That's a short-term vision for me. Right, so I think vendors and as I said, one of the vendors, Rakuten Symphony, as a pioneer of virtualized, right, fully cloud-native network in Rakuten Mobile, brings that experience, and we are exploring startups daily, what they are doing, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, whether that competes with vendor solutions or not. I think that's the voice of reason that operators need, because alone they will be lost. That's the global view that we have, talking with executive levels, right, and CTO offices all over the global, right, MNO market, tier ones. Everybody has their own path that they choose, but in the same time, they are asking for consultancy, right? Not selling pitch.
Sure. It's interesting, the balance between the SDO engagement and the startup engagement. It's hugely important topic to discuss, and time will tell, I guess. We'll be sitting here 3 years from now and say, oh yeah, you were right, or there were some Part of both of you, yeah, exactly. Attila with Rakuten Symphony. It was good meeting you, by the way, and thanks for your insight. Very interesting. Yoshi with NTT Docomo. I believe we've done this before, but maybe not. It's possible that at some other part of the world we've done this before. But again, thanks for your time and your insight as well. Appreciate it.